will give you a life that is super abundant in amount, but superior in quality. You get the quantity and the quality when you roll with Jesus. We've heard who we are, but we don't believe it. Some of you think because you heard it, you believe it. No, you just heard it. If you believe it, you act like it.
In the American family of the past, religion played an important role in holding the family together as an institution. It was not exclusively an individual experience. The family participated in it as a group, in church and at home too. On Sunday afternoons, the father read aloud from the Bible.
I mean, if I could say I believe in God, it would be maybe 60-40.
Which one's which?
60% I do believe in God and 40% not really.
Well, if you're asking me if I believe in God, I would like to. I think it's very comforting to know that somebody's there and looking out for us, and I would be arrogant to say that I knew for a fact that he did not exist, but I think I would also be arrogant in trying to say that I was sure that he did exist.
Everybody should realize the importance of God in their lives. You can't read the Bible and ignore that fact that there is no God. No.
God knows that, you know, he knows that I believe, and I think that's what's helping too, that he knows that I am believing, and that's why I think I'm getting so much help at times when I need it from them.
I guess I stopped believing in that God when I realized that the promises being offered not only were not being fulfilled, but they were like reading a cheap astrology book. You can put generally anyone's life into this, and maybe that's how it's supposed to be formatted. Maybe that's what the whole design is for, but it just all seemed too general and unrealistic.
My dad and my mom were very religious, and I sang in the choir. We're Episcopal.
I too got involved with the church, I guess about age 8 or so. Sang in the boys' choir and stayed with the Episcopal Church really throughout my teens.
Well, my grandparents are pretty religious, but I wouldn't call my dad and I religious, but I've read a couple Bible stories, and some of them are interesting, some kind of boring, but I mean, as a 10-year-old, I would say that it could get kind of boring to read the Bible and then start to pray every single meal.
Growing up, we had a divided household in that our parents were divorced. On the one hand, at our mom's household, it was sort of an staunch, oppressive Southern Baptist belief system that was instilled into relatively everything that we did. Where in contrast, at our dad's house, I mean, he didn't go to church, so if we wanted to, we could, I guess, but I mean, definitely no enforcing.
It is the door to heaven. Jesus said, I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved.
I think heaven, if you don't cuss that much and if you don't do that many bad things, you would go to heaven, but sometimes, I mean, people do bad things, people cuss and stuff, and they might go to hell. It's like the good and bad.
Jehovah's Witnesses were by here and left a pamphlet with that exact question: what happens to you when you die? And that raised some questions in my mind, or helped me focus on some of those. But
hopefully, if God thinks I'm deserving enough, I'll go up to heaven and get to see all my family again one day.
I don't know that heaven's up there somewhere. Heaven could be right here on earth just as well as up there. What I've been able to ascertain from my reading in the Bible is that when we die, we're going to be dead. When the Lord comes again to resurrect all the dead and the living, that's when we will experience heaven.
We all would like to think that right away we go to heaven, but I think we need to study our Bible a little more, because there's going to be a second coming of Christ. And those that he's ready for, he'll take back with him.
It makes all the difference in the world which side of the door we're on. Those who have chosen to enter heaven's door can never come under the wrath of God. But those who remain outside the door are already under the wrath of God and must suffer the full force of the storm when it breaks. Which side of the door are you on?
Well, I guess that's the downfall of not being an overly religious person, is that you may not have somewhere to go when this life is over, according to those scriptures. But I think it all comes down to your different spirituality beliefs or whatever. Maybe we're reincarnated. Maybe something else happens. Maybe we just go into the dirt and that's it. I don't know. I don't think that's been proven yet.
When you get older, most of your beliefs kind of fade away.
Why do you think that they just fade away, though?
It's like when you're young. When you're playing with toys, you imagine them as coming to life and then actually running around and playing and shooting at each other. But when you get older, you realize that can't really literally happen in real life. But I mean, you still wonder sometimes. With God, you might not believe in him, but I mean, how do all those miracles happen?